It started as a line on a map, but soon became concrete, barbed wire and watchtowers, the Iron Curtain. This was no ordinary fence. It sliced through Europe, splitting families, countries and ideologies. For decades, it stood as the stark symbol of a divided world. The Cold War wasn't fought with armies, but with tension and suspicion. Two superpowers staring each other down across this line. The Iron Curtain was more than a barrier. It was an idea, a sharp divide between two ways of life. On one side, the West, promising freedom and democracy. On the other, the East, under Soviet control and communism. Germany was at the center, torn in two, the front line of the Cold War. The division, meant to be temporary after World War II, became permanent, etched into the land and the minds of its people. The Berlin Wall, the most infamous part, fell over 35 years ago. People danced on it, chipped away at it, believing Germany would finally be whole. The physical wall disappeared, but invisible barriers remained, in the economy, politics and people's hearts. The ghost of the wall still lingers, casting a long shadow over reunified Germany. This story is about that ghost. Why, decades after the concrete vanished, the old border is still felt. We'll explore how the division began, what it meant for those on each side, and why its echoes persist. Differences in wealth, opportunity, and attitudes remain. Is Germany truly one nation, or still two societies under one flag? The answer is complex, a tale of history, memory, and the slow process of becoming whole again. The wall may be gone, but its legacy is not. The invisible line still shapes lives, choices, and identities. Understanding this ghost is key to understanding modern Germany. The journey to unity is far from over. To understand today's division, we have to look back. After World War II, Germany was split into 4 zones, each managed by a victorious power. Berlin, deep in the Soviet zone, was also divided. The plan was joint governance and rebuilding, but cooperation quickly broke down. The West wanted democracy and capitalism. The Soviets wanted communism. By 1949, the split was official. West Germany became a democracy, East Germany a Soviet-controlled state. Berlin was a divided island, West Berlin a loophole for East Germans fleeing communism. Thousands escaped through Berlin, draining the East of talent and hope. The East German regime responded brutally. On August 13, 1961, they began building the Berlin Wall. First barbed wire, then concrete. The wall cut through streets, separated families, and became the ultimate symbol of division. It declared the split permanent. For 28 years, Germany existed as two countries, two worlds, divided by a deadly border. The wall wasn't just concrete, it was a statement. The division was here to stay. The impact was immediate and profound. Families were torn apart overnight. The world watched as a nation was split in two. The scars of that night still shape Germany today. The wall's shadow remains, long after its fall. Life on either side of the wall was starkly different. In West Germany, the economic miracle transformed the country into a powerhouse. Consumer goods, travel, and freedom flourished. The West was vibrant, open, and full of opportunity. In East Germany, the state controlled everything. Shortages were common, travel was restricted, and life was stable but stifling. The Stasi's surveillance created a climate of fear and distrust. Neighbors spied on neighbors. Even children reported on parents. Dissent meant danger. Despite a shared language and history, East and West Germans grew up in separate realities. West Germans enjoyed American culture and open debate. East Germans watched state TV, learned that capitalism was the enemy, and trusted the state as protector. Two worlds, two mentalities, shaped by decades of division. The wall bred differences in beliefs and attitudes that lingered long after it fell. Even today, these mental divides persist. The legacy of separation is not easily erased. The challenge of merging these worlds remains. The wall's impact was psychological as much as physical. The fall of the Berlin Wall brought hope, but history isn't erased overnight. More than 30 years later, the old border still shows in the data. The East lags behind the West economically, lower wages, higher unemployment, and aging towns. Many young people left the East for better opportunities, leaving villages empty. The West's cities thrive, while parts of the East struggle to catch up. Even daily life differs. Childcare is more available in the East, and more women work full-time. Political divides persist. Far-right parties find more support in the East, fueled by feelings of being left behind. The Iron Curtain's line still runs through German society, shaping opportunity and outlook. The economic and social gap is a constant reminder of the past. The promise of reunification remains unfinished. The invisible wall is still felt in everyday life. The journey to true unity continues. Reunification brought massive investment. Over 2 trillion euros poured into the East. Roads, cities, and industries were rebuilt, but the transition was painful. East German companies couldn't compete. Millions lost their jobs as industries vanished. For many, reunification felt like a takeover, not a merger. The scars run deep. Skills and experience were suddenly worthless. Few top companies or leaders come from the East, reinforcing a sense of second-class citizenship. The pay gap persists. East Germans still earn less for the same work. The phantom border runs through paychecks and opportunities. Economic reality keeps the old division alive. Quality of life and security are still shaped by where you were born. The legacy of division is personal and persistent. To understand the division, listen to those who lived it. Klaus from Dresden grew up in East Germany. Life was simple, orderly. Everyone had a job, a garden, a long wait for a car. Community mattered. People improvised to get by. Klaus became an engineer at a state company. When the wall fell, hope soared. Then reality hit. His company was sold, declared outdated, and shut down. Klaus lost his job, his status, and had to retrain as a salesman. It was humiliating, and he wasn't alone. Millions experienced this biography break. Klaus eventually found work, but the experience changed him. "We were happy to be free," he says. "But we lost something too, a sense of identity. The past was dismissed, the West's way seen as better." Many in the East feel nostalgia for the community and security of the GDR, not its oppression. It's about dignity and having your history respected. Klaus's story shows the division isn't just about money, it's about respect and belonging. The loss of identity is a wound that still aches. The struggle to reconcile past and present is ongoing. The human cost of division is real and lasting. Klaus's journey is shared by many. The wall's legacy is written in personal stories. Healing takes more than time, it takes understanding. The past shapes the present in ways numbers can't capture. The story of division is deeply human. The wall in the mind, Mauer im Kopf, may be the hardest to break. Stereotypes persist. East Germans, Ossis, are seen as complainers, stuck in the past. West Germans, Wessis, as arrogant and materialistic. These cliches ignore real hardship and sacrifice on both sides. They create a cycle of misunderstanding and resentment. West German managers may see East German colleagues as lacking initiative. East Germans may see West Germans as overbearing. These mental walls are passed to younger generations who never lived the division. The psychological border is as real as the physical one once was. Breaking it down is slow, but essential. True unity requires seeing beyond the stereotypes. The wall in the mind lingers, even as the concrete one is gone. Germany's lingering division isn't just history, it shapes the present and future. Economic and social gaps fuel political polarization, especially in the East. Many feel mainstream politics doesn't represent them, eroding trust in democracy. National identity is fragmented. Different regions have different stories and memories. For some, reunification is a triumph. For others, it's a story of loss. These competing narratives make unity difficult. Germany's experience is a lesson. True unity is more than treaties and money. It's about memory, respect, and honest dialogue. Declaring unity doesn't make it real. Healing takes generations. The past lives on in voting patterns, attitudes, and opportunities. Understanding these echoes is crucial for modern Germany, and for any society overcoming deep division. The German struggle is universal. History shapes us whether we see it or not. The journey to unity is ongoing. Is Germany doomed to be divided forever? Not necessarily. Time helps. The younger generation sees the division as history, not lived reality. This generational shift brings hope for true unity. Initiatives, school exchanges, town partnerships, investment in the East are bridging the gap. The goal: equal living conditions across the country. Honest conversations about the past are emerging, recognizing both the good and bad of East and West. Museums and public discussions now include Eastern perspectives. The line between East and West is blurring, becoming less of a border and more of a transition. The journey to unity is longer and harder than anyone imagined. But bridges, economic, cultural and personal, are being built. The ghost of the wall lingers, but its power fades. Germany's story is one of resilience and hope. The nation is still becoming one.